Hey everyone, welcome to SLP's Wine and Cheese. I'm Deb.
And I'm Maria.
And here's our podcast.
For the Realistic SLP. Welcome!
Oh, look, we did that together.
We're awesome.
Cheers to that.
That's right. Our life is speech, and we're okay with that. Understanding, language comprehension, expressive output.
And then also you're teaching them like syntactically correct sentences.
Right. Work smarter, not harder.
Right.
The first step is just how to communicate.
Trying to help people to, improve their speech language communication. Neurons that fire together, wire together.
I like that. That's really genius. We need to cheers to that.
Cheers. Welcome to episode 20 of SLP's Wine and Cheese. I'm Deb.
I'm Maria.
And we have another special guest who is actually not another, Katie again.
Hi guys.
Here she is. She's back.
And we also, changing it up, we are at Maria's house in Staten Island.
That's right. Deborah really dressed for this occasion. She's wearing jeans.
Yes.
Katie has her sensory issues with her jeans, so she did not wear her jeans.
Yeah.
And here we are in my basement. Yeah.
Yep, it's a good time. And it was crazy for me to drive here today because it's like I lived so close to here when I was living on Staten Island. So I stopped at the deli, got a sandwich.
Look at you.
Because I was like, I don't want to be hangry on the podcast.
No. Being hangry is not good ever.
No.
Speaking of food.
Right, yeah, let's get into that.
Yes, we're eating a very fancy Greek cheese, Kefalorabiera cheese. I know, it's definitely a mouthful. And
Thank you.
I love this cheese. This is one of my favorite cheeses. And we've paired it with, we're going hard, Jack Daniel's whiskey. Because
Did I change you guys?
Katie is making us more badass by the minute. She's like, no wine for me. That's way too... What? I don't even know. What did you...
She doesn't
Why
like
don't
the
you
headaches.
drink the headaches?
Too sweet.
Too sweet.
I know some of them are.
Too sweet. We need to be more bitter, more sour.
And we're getting older, so we need some.
The good thing about whiskey is that you sip it.
Why is that good? You think?
Because it slows you down. I think it's not a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon.
Right.
Yeah. So when you drink wine, you're able to drink it faster and faster. So it's just like whiskey makes you slow down. Mm-hmm. And I think we can all benefit from slowing down.
That's
sometimes.
a good point.
I think accuracy and precision of maybe all speech and language, as well as fine motor skills. Right. Everything gets more precise when you slow down.
True.
Yeah.
Wow.
But if you slow down too much, then that won't be good either.
Right.
Then you can't keep up.
Yeah, and you won't get anything done.
Yeah.
So the goal is a happy medium.
Mm-hmm.
Like with everything in life.
And everybody's is different, right?
Right. So what do you guys think about this Jack Daniels?
Think it, right? Compared to the one from last week.
All right, comparing honey whiskey with this, I would say sink it. This is really intense for me, but I mean, I'm just going with it because, I'm doing this for you, Katie.
Thank
this
you.
is
if
all
this was
for
a
you
Friday
right
night or Saturday night, I would probably enjoy it more.
Right.
But when you have to drink it on the night before work, it's kind of tough.
Yes, tonight's Sunday. We're not recording right now on our typical night.
Right.
So.
Well, I vote drink it.
Okay.
I did like the honey whiskey, but I did think the honey whiskey was very sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just not sweet at all.
Right.
I don't love whiskey in general, but I think it's growing on me. So, I think I vote drink it.
Let me give it one more
this.
try. I'm going to take a sip right now.
Right.
Let me see this. Okay, hold on. Because I took a sip before and you told me
Wait till
I had to wait for the ice to melt.
Because then it's watered down a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
She also takes big sips.
Yeah, I can't take a big sip on that.
All right.
Yeah, you just take little baby sips.
Okay. That makes me feel better. That makes me feel better knowing I can slowly drink
supposed
this.
to be on the rocks, right? Don't you just
It depends on how there's coffee snobs, there's whiskey snobs.
Yes,
so,
there are.
If you add water to it, now you're diluting the ingredients and the flavor.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking actually.
Mm-hmm.
But Jack Daniel's is not known as the most pure of whiskeys or the best, so it's not you're drinking Johnny Walker Blue on the rock. That's $100 whiskey you don't want to waste ice on.
Right.
When a drink is at room temperature, you can perceive all of the ingredients in it. When it's colder, you can't.
Oh, like Coors Light.
Yes.
Sorry, but we are open to advertisements still.
Right,
Even
yeah,
though we just
whoever
knocked
wants to
them
give us
down.
anything, I'm drinking it.
Yes.
We all are.
If you keep tally marks, I'm always in favor of the beverage. Only twice was it bad, but I think Maria did that on purpose.
I actually didn't, but can't prove me wrong. But
Mm-hmm.
but Jack Daniel's is actually the oldest registered distillery in the U.S.
Wow.
It's Tennessee whiskey, and apparently that's like very specific
Right.
for having that style, I guess, of whiskey. I don't
Whiskey
know.
can only be produced. I don't know if this is I'm not completely accurate on this. I think whiskey can only be made in Tennessee, and everything else is like a Scotch. Something like
Really?
that. Like, what's the difference between a whiskey and a Scotch? We
I
can
don't know,
Google
but
that.
Jack Daniel's is the oldest registered distillery in the U.S. Yep. So has been around since the Revolutionary War.
Wow.
Yes, and there was plenty of older distilleries pumping out rum before whiskey became popular.
Mm-hmm.
But Jack lays claim to be the oldest registered distillery.
Oh wait, Kentucky.
Yes.
That's where. Okay, the main difference between Scotch and whiskey is geographic. So, but also ingredients and spellings. Scotch is whiskey made in Scotland, while bourbon is whiskey made in the USA, generally in Kentucky. Scotch is made mostly of malted barley, while bourbon is distilled from corn. So I knew there was some sort of drink, just like champagne has to be from France.
Does it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Otherwise, it's just sparkling wine.
I just drank.
Yeah,
Listen,
Katie's
ladies,
just.
You better get up hip on these
Me and
facts.
Katie went out last night. We went to Bagatelle in Manhattan for a friend's birthday, and they were all drinking champagne, and I was like, no.
Yeah, they were like,
I get
"It's really
headaches
good
from
champagne."
that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
know.
do champagne.
But what did you drink yesterday?
Summertini. I
Yes.
forget what was in it, but it was good.
It
Oh,
had vodka
summer
in it.
teeny.
Mm-hmm.
That
It was like
sounds
the last
good.
day of the summer, right? Or the day before.
It was, I mean,
Oh, I think the
It was the
20th
first day
or
of
so.
fall.
I don't know. Oh, yeah. So I was listening to the last episode and I was like, oh, I wonder if whiskey makes me mean. I got a little bit mean towards the end, I feel like.
you did?
I think, well, and I listened to it, so let's see if I get mean again.
Oh, God.
This might be a short episode.
Everybody get out! Okay, so I think we voted,
Drink it.
drink it, sink it?
I don't know. I'll go with drink it.
Okay.
Oh,
drink
don't
it.
just do it because
No,
we
no, no.
said it.
Well, if the two choices, it's not like I never drank it before, and it's not like I'm never gonna drink it again.
And it doesn't mean like Jack Daniels is gonna be your choice. It's
Right.
just like, you won't like barf in someone's face if they give it to you. You're
Right,
like,
yeah.
fine,
I'll
I'll accept
take it.
this.
That's
Yeah.
what you have.
Yes.
I feel like
Yeah.
barfing in someone's face is never a good idea. Whether,
Well,
no matter
it depends
how.
on what you gave me.
Right, you're right about that. You are right about that. Okay, solid point. All right, so
Should we do
Katie
Yeah, we're
really
playing
wants to
games.
play a game because
Yeah.
she's so fun.
Oh yeah, we like games, and it's funny because the first question I'm gonna ask you guys is something that I would like to answer too, but it's mostly for you guys. What's the most exhausting
You go
physical activity?
Wow. I have never done CrossFit, but I'm assuming it would be CrossFit. But I guess like sprints, yes.
Sprints,
Running
they are
sprints,
hard.
yes.
Yeah.
Like 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. I feel like my heart is gonna like collapse. But I like that feeling.
Because you feel like you really worked out.
Yeah, I feel like I'm really worked out. I feel
I'm
like, I
running
know
a
this
bunch of
sounds
calories.
weird, but like I feel like alive. Like my heart is pumping. I know, does
Right.
that sound
Should we
weird?
do it more often?
Shoot.
We should.
Yeah.
Maybe before the podcast we could do sprints.
Oh, God.
Yeah, suicides right before. I like sprinting. I don't like long distance is more daunting to me, but the most exhausting physical task is 100% moving. Moving
like,
your apartment,
oh.
packing
That's
boxes, going up and down stairs, loading a truck, unloading a truck. Screw that. Once you hire movers, you never go back. You'll never do that again.
That's funny.
As Mike is on a moving job.
Yep, he's
And-
doing that. That's why I think I'm going to marry Mike, just because I know in my whole future I'll never have to move another box.
That's
Wow,
awesome.
that's
And like,
motivation.
I can move a box. I just don't want to.
So at times in life, we're fueled by the things we don't want to do.
That's right.
And I just got a notification as a reminder. I'm doing the Tunnel to Towers run next Sunday.
That's
yes.
a really good race.
I love that run.
I've
That
done that
run
before.
is so like spiritual and great, and like I like tear up on it.
I
so,
do too.
Yes.
Yeah,
Katie
running
might
in
do it
the
with us.
tower is in a tunnel is pretty rough.
Yes.
Yeah, very hot and crowded.
Yes.
But there were
great
kids
experience.
doing it. That's what motivated
Right.
me. There was like little kids doing it, and then there were like people in full fireman gear. If for anyone who doesn't know, the Tunnel to Towers run, there's this guy who was working as
Steven
a firefighter.
Steven Silver.
I have a shirt with his
Yes.
name on it.
Yes.
But I
Yes.
Okay. So he was working at the fire department that is by Coffee Park in Red Hook, Brooklyn, and he just got home from work and he got the call, so he just like
On 9/11.
on 9/11, and then he changed into his gear. He ran through the tunnel,
Yeah.
and then he went into the second building, and that's when that next plane hit, and that's how he died. So in memory of him, each year everyone gets together. They do this race from Coffee Park by that fire station to
Red Hook,
the
Brooklyn.
World Trade Center. Yeah, it starts in Red Hook and then it ends around the World Trade Center, and it goes a little bit off course just because it has to be a 5K. Like he doesn't do that. He didn't do that detour.
Right.
Obviously.
Yes.
He was trying to get to the job.
But yeah.
They wanted to have you experience what he went through
Yes.
because he was in full
And he was
gear.
in full gear. So some people, they run it in their
Yeah.
full gear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine that because we just run it and it's hot.
It's so
crowded.
hot in the tunnel and it's stinky.
Right.
And there's like kids doing it too, though. So it's
And
like
I was telling you, wounded soldiers, and that's what like makes me
Yes,
tear up because
that's what
everybody
makes-
runs by them and claps and cheers,
Right, yeah.
and it's an amazing experience.
Yeah,
so
it
if
is.
you're in the area and you could do it, we definitely
Yeah.
And even
recommend
on the
it.
finish line is like great too. They have like
And
cheerleaders
awesome
from all different
Yeah,
high
there's
schools
Dunkin'
cheering you on.
Donuts,
Dunkin' Donuts.
beer.
and a
There's
great
beer.
party at the
It
end.
was
There's
a
a
big
great
party.
at the end.
Yeah, it's not for working out.
No.
It's like, if you want to work out before the party, that gets you fat. I mean, I never ate and drank so much than the day I did Tunnel to Towers.
Really?
They give out a full
My
pie
whole-
pizza. Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of my family members are all firefighters, and we all did it. Like, it was just like, once we got
Aw.
to the end, we were eating and drinking everything.
You should do it with me. I didn't know you were gonna
Yeah.
intro
All right.
me. All
You
right.
guys
So
ready for
yeah,
question
sorry.
number 2?
Mhm.
So 2 more. What's the most delicious fruit?
Oh.
I think raspberries and kiwis.
I was
don't
gonna say
want
raspberries
I'm not a big
too.
fan of kiwis.
Oh, really? I love kiwi.
Right.
I like
Raspberries and strawberries. We're
Okay.
picking 2 now, I guess.
All right. I like peaches,
Oh, peaches.
Peaches. Okay.
but they have to be really ripe. I like when they're like juicy. I don't like when they're too hard. Or
Right.
when they're like cotton, like they taste like
Yeah, like no taste
cotton.
at
No.
all.
All right, and the last one. What do kids hate most?
I think that kids hate most to be tricked or like
Really?
lied to.
Oh.
That's a good one.
Yeah, like so if you tell them that they're gonna get something, then they're gonna hold that expectation, and if you're not true to your
Oh,
word,
yeah.
they're gonna really hate you for that. And if you like convince them of some sort of truth and it doesn't actually end up being true, they can really hold that against you. Other than that, there's not too much you can do to bother a kid.
Right.
I think maybe saying no to a child, depending on their age.
Saying no.
They could probably
Especially
hate
after
that.
you already said yes.
Right.
Which is what you just said, Deb.
Well, yeah, I
pretty
mean,
much.
Sort of, right.
I don't really always like if I won't avoid saying no because like I know that the kids need to know no, and
Right.
and so I'll be like, if somebody's like, well, I want that means the microphone's only pointing to you.
Okay.
So if somebody's like, oh, I want a prize, and I'll be like, tell me more about why you want a prize.
Right.
And then they'll be like, well, I just like prizes. I was like, well, don't we have to earn prizes?
Right.
So like,
Instead of just saying no.
yeah, I'm not like no. I like
Okay.
try to talk them through it so that they can
Right,
realize how
yeah.
it is completely absurd of them to think that they deserve a prize.
Right.
Like,
Right.
like,
I like that.
I would say not yet.
Oh.
You can't have a prize because
Not
you
yet.
didn't do your work first.
They get
Ow.
upset about that, huh? They hate
Sometimes not so much. You know.
my students need 20 points to get a prize.
Right.
I don't give a prize for like a month.
Right. So not yet.
Well,
Yeah.
Not
After the 20.
right
points.
now.
Right, yeah.
Uh-huh. I don't know how to answer that question exactly. I'm just gonna tally
No, yeah.
off of what piggyback off of Deb.
We
You
kind
know,
of all
let her
tied in.
Do the work in there and just take credit. I'm just kidding. I'm totally
All right.
kidding.
This is the game for today.
All right.
And that was
All
say
right.
anything.
Yeah, that's a fun game. So where did you play? This is your home board game?
Yeah, but I've played it with some of my older kids.
Oh.
Because you have to write out answers and stuff. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, I like these. I feel like I would photocopy. Not the one with the martini on it. Do they all have martinis on them?
No, they're supposed to be thought bubbles.
Oh, yeah, but this one has a martini.
Yeah, it does.
Oh,
We're
it
not
does?
allowed-
But the
Oh, I didn't see
rest,
that.
I mean,
Oh, yes,
I
I
would
see.
just, like, that's like a good graphic
Oh,
to
okay.
use in class. You could just, especially if you laminated it, you can just keep writing on those thought bubbles. Okay,
Good
so
point.
what we wanted to get into today is fine motor skills. And I think that Maria wanted to call her brother in so that he
Yes.
can give a
You want
little
to give
bit
the
of
definition
insight.
first?
Yeah.
Yes,
so
my
he's-
brother was in
when he
OT for
does-
handwriting because I remember, because he's older than me, so I remember his handwriting being like terrible growing up. And then the teacher told my mom, like, you know, your son needs occupational therapy when I think he was like in the 7th grade. So what, you're like 13 years old? And I was
12,
like, why
13.
have he's always had terrible handwriting since, you know, ever.
Right.
And why has no one ever like brought it to my attention
Right, I
then?
would feel the same way.
You know?
Yeah.
So my
Because also in
bro-
7th
yeah.
grade, how much can you do with handwriting?
Right, I don't know.
Well, when I was in high school, my mom really wanted me to take calligraphy because she said I had such bad
Oh,
handwriting.
really?
But
Did you take calligraphy?
didn't,
Because now you use.
because-
Look how fancy those
But I
notes
didn't
are.
do this very nicely. But
Oh.
yeah, like I was really mad at her for wanting me to do that, and now as an adult, I'm like, oh, that could have been a nice class.
Did you ever end up taking it?
No,
Oh.
no, but I
That's what I'm saying. Look how nice her handwriting is.
yeah, my mom.
Wow.
Like the other day, I wrote a note, and my mom was like, Deborah, when did you learn how to write? And I was like, I have known how to write.
All right, so my brother's gonna tell us about his experience.
Well, first
for
tell us your
handwriting.
name.
Oh yeah, tell us.
Christos Kitchens.
Oh, hi, nice
Hi.
to meet
Yeah,
you.
come on,
Come have a
join
seat.
us on our podcast. Speak
I'm
nice and
sure-
loud and clear.
I think the microphone will pick everybody up. So,
Yeah, hopefully.
Maria's telling us that you had some OT in your childhood.
I did. I had horrible writing,
Uh-huh.
handwriting when I was a child, so I went to OT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you like it?
Sometimes it's boring, but overall I loved it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kitty.
So, what do you recall working on when you were in OT?
Well, first of all, she wanted to see how my handwriting was before, so we had samples.
Uh-huh.
As I progressed, she could then show me before and after,
Oh, okay.
and we played game to fix my hand-eye coordination.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you feel like it was effective?
Absolutely.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Good. Did you do any exercises like with your hands outside of writing? Did she have you like squeeze a stress ball or use I don't know any other sort of
Like clothespins.
Yeah,
Yeah,
clothespins.
let's
No,
let Katie.
nothing like that.
No?
She just had me practice with my handwriting.
Oh, so you always had like a pen in your hand and all of the activities were centered around like a writing utensil?
No, not always. You buy a utensil like I. Oh no, actually, yeah, you're right. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes, it was always a writing utensil.
Oh,
Other
okay.
than games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then, do you feel like it improved like anything else with you, or really was it just like your handwriting that got better?
Well, does my Greek handwriting count too? Because
Yeah.
that's the only other thing. Because my English handwriting got better, and my Greek handwriting got better.
That's
So it
good.
carried
Yeah.
over into different
Yeah.
language. There's the speech part.
Right, because I feel like when I started taking spin classes, I became a better runner. So like
Oh.
me using the bike made me a better like runner.
Mm.
So I was wondering if like your handwriting improved, but like maybe also your drawing or coloring improved. Did anything like that? You think?
Well,
Or just anything in general with eye-hand coordination?
playing
maybe
video
playing video
games.
games.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
Notes,
Yeah.
It could have, but
Could have definitely
yeah.
had an effect on
Yeah,
it. Because
it
now
definitely-
you're
yeah.
quicker with your fingers.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
You never even thought about that until now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
I
yeah.
could say I'm like he's probably never, but now it's like
Now
oh,
it's like,
shit.
what else?
You
There's
better
so many
thank your
things.
OT now
Yeah.
because
But now you're
thank
thinking
the
of
OTs
gamer.
out there.
Do you remember her name?
Because
No,
First name?
sorry. Maybe
No?
my mom will.
Okay.
Yeah.
do you want to ask some like questions? Because you remember you told me you used to do like an app, like something with like a you
So-
played like a Chinese game.
So sometimes
right?
for the handwriting, we could use like different types of papers. So smaller lines, bigger lines, or like it's almost like 3D. When you write, you could actually feel it. So it's tactile writing.
I don't remember doing it, but
This was the
remember-
90s when
Yeah,
he was
so,
there.
Things were limited back then, like,
Yeah.
to what, compared to what we have
I can't
now.
remember. But I remember something that was different about the paper.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was just maybe it was just bigger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
And
So
you
I'm
played
glad
games.
that it was a
Yes.
positive experience for you. So what
Me
kind of
too.
games did you play? Like, were they OT related, like with writing, or you just played a game as a reward?
No, it was related to
It was
writing. It was for the hand-eye coordination. We played that game where you have a certain amount of time before the objects pop out.
So
Oh, like
perfection,
Topple?
perfection.
Topple?
Perfection.
Okay.
Oh, so you had to like grab them.
Yeah,
like,
put them into the right spot. Like yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
So working on the tripod.
That's a
Yeah.
stressful game. Did it
Yeah.
stress you out?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, she.
It's a lot of pressure to put a kid under. Like, oh my goodness, all these things are gonna pop out at me if I don't finish.
So that's working on the grasp and eye-hand coordination and even speed. So when we do
Yeah.
writing, the speed, keeping up with your written work.
Wow.
Yeah.
All
So,
right.
even though you're just playing a game, a lot of times the client doesn't know what they're working on. But this is something that we're definitely looking in schools now, where we try to have the goals ready for the students, and we try to tell the student what we're working on
Mhm.
prior to working with them. So no matter their abilities,
Oh.
cognitive or physical, they're still introduced. Okay, we're gonna play this game to work on strengthening your hands. As simple as that. It doesn't have to be all these fancy terms, but this is what we're working on.
I think that's good because then if you're like in the session, like you're saying, Chris, I call him by his Greek name, Christo.
That's okay.
You're at least like because you were when you were like 13, so he wasn't like
A baby,
5-year-old, you know. But if she said to him, not to knock this OT, I
Right.
mean, she
Yeah,
helped
no.
him out.
And that was
Just
back then, so
right,
it
that
was
was
different.
it's the 90s. Let's just blame it on the 90s.
Right.
Right, everyone was eating hot dogs.
Yeah, like
and
saturated
vegetables.
fat was good for
Yeah.
you.
But also at
like,
that time, nobody knew what OT was. That's why maybe
Right.
he didn't get it when he was
didn't
younger.
get it. Yeah,
Right.
that's. I mean, my mom was like, "Why am I hearing about this now when he's
Right.
13?"
Because maybe there was
Because
never
he's
an OT
always had
there.
terrible handwriting.
Right.
Mhm.
But anyway, if
So
she
how
told
are your
you like,
basketball skills?
I haven't played basketball in a while.
Oh.
I remember when I was a kid, they were pretty good.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So then,
It's
yeah,
above
so
average.
it was strictly like a handwriting thing.
Mhm.
yeah. But if she told you we're gonna play this game so you can be quicker when you write, you would have been like, "Oh, okay."
Right.
Like it's maybe a little less boring
Or-
now.
Right, I was gonna say
You know,
sometimes
you're
you're
more
like,
motivated to be like, "I want to
Exactly.
be quicker. I want to be good at
Right.
this."
right, this game is so stupid. It's like for babies. But then when she
Right.
tells you what you're working for or
What
like
you're
to
working
achieve,
on.
right, working on, then
Yeah.
you're like, oh, it's not really the game that I care about. Am I holding this correctly while I'm doing it?
Right.
Yeah.
So then you're taking more responsibility
Exactly, yeah.
and more
Also,
interest.
are you a lefty or a righty?
I'm ready.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Right.
Just like
Everybody
to know.
here's a righty?
I'm a righty.
Yeah.
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 Mike's a lefty.
Okay.
He says that lefties are geniuses.
That's what they say, and they're more
Well,
creative.
Well, we'll just keep that here. You don't have to go saying there's research for it.
All right, so we'll tell them not to listen to this episode.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you definitely shouldn't. You want to marry him because he can move stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, but he cooks things too.
Right. So his skills.
Yeah, he's got a lot of skills. He has a certain subset of skills
Okay.
that I'm into.
Right. You had more things
Yeah.
you wanted to say.
So, getting back to thank you so much.
Yes,
Chris,
thank you for
giving
joining us.
your input.
Yes, we know you have to go to work now.
It's all
Enjoy.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Great.
Come back again.
Come back.
Well,
All right.
Shout out to the
Edgy,
OTs.
edgy,
AJ's
I'm
just
gonna
on
give,
my brother. I'm not moving.
some background information about occupational therapy in terms of fine motor. So fine motor skills are, they involve the coordination of small muscles and movements, and usually in synchronization of the hands and fingers with the eyes. So that's that hands-eye coordination. And manual dexterity, that's controlled by the nervous system. So OT and speech therapy, we're all about those cranial nerves and the peripheral nervous system. Fine motor skills, those are going to entail using pencils or pens, scissors, buttons, zippers, construction with Legos, opening boxes and jars, snaps and laces, and the manipulation of objects. So manipulating an object, it requires the ability to move and position objects within one hand without the help of the other hand, such as like holding a puzzle piece or a key or writing or even like cutting with scissors. All those things happen with the use of one hand, independent from another. All fine motor skills, they require motor or muscle control, bilateral integration, and coordination with the hands and the eye. And Katie, did I say it all?
Katie,
was that all true?
Yeah. I mean, I
Katie,
couldn't
this
have
is
said
what
it-
you had to
said
learn
it
in
better
school.
myself.
This is intense.
Yes.
I'm
Well,
like,
thank
whoa.
you. That's what they pay me the big bucks for. Once that Patreon goes through.
Yes, that's coming out, everyone.
Yeah.
Look out for that.
No,
So-
but that was great.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about.
Tell us that in Old English.
Yeah.
Plain English.
So just like your brother mentioned, so the biggest thing that a lot of parents and teachers especially think that we do in school is handwriting. Oh,
Right.
my student can't write, he needs
Yeah.
OT. My student can't do this, they need OT. And mostly writing or copying.
Right.
So that's what it goes back
Just
to.
like everybody thinks that speech therapy is like lisps and stutters.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
everyone
Yes.
thinks OT is just handwriting.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So a lot of times it's
Is that
other
a pet peeve
teachers.
of yours a little bit?
A little bit, just because I
I
feel
know.
like we do handwriting, but it's not like back in the 90s, like Chris mentioned, that you come in
Back in
and
the
I give you a
90s.
piece of paper and we're just gonna practice writing.
Right.
So with writing, there are a lot of different skills that are involved: eye-hand coordination, muscle strength, finger isolation, the grasp. So many different skills. So yes, we're working towards them being better writers, but not necessarily sitting there and writing for 30 minutes. We're targeting all these different skills.
And then you also mentioned in our last episode how occupational therapists, they use the actual materials that are required for the activity to occur. So like you're going to use a pencil, but do you do any sort of like outside sort of compensatory strength building exercises without
Yes.
the equipment?
Well, yes, but like just to give you an example, even though I'll have an activity with a pencil, doesn't mean we're necessarily writing. So one of my favorites is
like
to
the grip?
Yep. So one of my favorites is to roll out Play-Doh into the letter. That let's say we want to practice writing.
Oh,
And then-
I liked using that too for speech.
Yeah.
This is the carry.
Right, but
I'm
now
sorry,
this is
go
where
ahead.
you could add on
you
to
got
it.
You keep
What
going.
we do is we take the pencil and we flip it back, which is one of the skills. It's a translation. So if the student's holding a pencil, they flip it. It's one of the translations. And now the eraser is on the bottom part, like the writing part.
Okay.
And they poke the putty in the letter formation pattern.
Oh, I like that. That's
So
good.
it's strengthening
That
your
looks
hand.
like my coloring pages. I have like dots on each letter, so you're like making those dots with the pencil.
Yeah,
eraser.
but they're pushing through the putty, so it's
Mhm.
strengthening the hand. They're working on the grasp, and they're using the pencil, which they will be using for writing.
Right.
That's so great.
Yeah. So
That's
one of my
good.
favorite.
Can you give
activities-
us more tips? Because
Sure.
listen, you know my motto, right? Give me some tips that help
Sure.
me.
My
This is
other
like free
favorite.
advice right now, people.
You guys have to use this one too. My next favorite. So this is without using the actual writing tool.
Mhm.
This year I bought a toolbox and I bought a little lock, and I put the lock on it. And now anytime a child says I want to draw, I'm like, I think the pencils and the crayons are in
Nice.
there. I give them the key and they have to open the lock to get
Oh,
into it.
nice.
Oh,
That's
good.
So-
See,
I
I
love
make
keys.
them say open up, but yeah,
I need
let me
them
add
too.
another
You should
obstacle
give
in
them
there.
like 5 keys and make them figure out
Which
which
one?
one's right.
Yeah, once we get them opening independently, that's a
And then
great
if it
idea.
was a speech game, we would have like some sort of letter or icon in each key, and then like clues in a paragraph about which key is gonna be like next
The
for
one.
the lock,
Oh,
which
that's
would be a fun
great.
game. It could be like inferencing and
Yeah.
also matching.
Yes, because
Love
looking
that.
for key
And a clue.
information.
Yeah.
Oh my
Main
god.
Following
idea.
the clues. Yeah, that
Guys.
would be fun.
Guys, this is
Um,
great.
Yeah.
These are great.
An
things.
OT activity that I like to do also for like phonemic awareness or sound letter correspondence is so I'll take paint and put it in a very sturdy Ziploc bag, the kind that you slide,
Yeah.
or the kind that turns the color, like not the dollar store brand.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that with hair gel.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
hair gel.
Yes, because paint scares me.
Oh, I like
Hair
paint.
gel doesn't.
It's all washable.
You're
I mean,
right,
we're
you're
all
right.
getting dirty here.
I'm like one of those OCD SLPs. I'm like, don't mix the Play-Doh colors.
Me too.
Don't mix the
I'm gonna get
paints."
dirty. Don't touch me.
That's
Yes.
why I only buy one color Play-Doh. All my Play-Doh's pink.
Okay.
That's
is what it is, right?
That's it, because I don't like mixing Play-Doh. That's how annoying.
I got over that the first year. I was
You
like, first
did?
I was like, don't mix, and then I'm like, they're kids.
This-
Who cares? It gets
This
gets
is like
hard after a year.
confessions right now. Tell us
know.
how you worked on that,
That's
please.
it.
So I feel like a lot of therapists have this
And
issue.
it's an
You just let it go?
I just let it go.
How?
I don't know. Stop caring. There's more and more important things to care about.
Yeah,
You're right.
I just don't like the ugly color it turns, so that's why
Cheers
I
to
just
that.
chose to only
Where's
have.
our alcohol?
I'm the only one who has a drink.
Oh
so
gosh,
Get
yes. 'cause
ready
kid-
for the moodiness. Here it comes.
Good job. I don't know where it is.
So-
But what
Go
I was
ahead.
saying
You
is,
got
so like,
great
yeah, I
points.
put paint in the bag, and then I'll have them draw with their isolating their index finger. They draw the letters, and I learned this song from an OT at Children at Play on Staten Island. That's where I did my child placement. and she would always sing like start every letter at the top.
That's handwriting without tears.
Yeah.
Sort of. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or maybe I might sing it differently now
Right.
because I don't remember what is the
Because it
song.
goes like, where do we start now I'm like all messed up.
You got it.
We start our letters at the top.
You know what's gonna help you to figure that out? Whiskey.
Whiskey.
Gotcha,
Okay, well, I'll
girl.
get it to you.
Mhm.
But there is,
Well, I'm not
Cheers.
copying then, so
Oh,
I
no,
can
no.
trademark that.
No, but if you-
My song is start every letter at the top.
Yeah.
I thought I was stealing someone's thing this whole time.
no. And if it's working for your kids, that's awesome.
Yeah, I say start every letter at the top, which is not accurate for calligraphy,
Okay.
but it is accurate for just print handwriting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't give one. So I didn't give some ice to Katie. Sorry.
Oh, so she just took a shot?
Yeah, pretty
she
much.
She is a champion.
I told
Come
you.
on.
Told you.
Oh, boy.
All right.
So then, so we both did our fine motor activities. Do you have a fine motor
a
activity
fine
that
motor
you like
activity.
to do?
Yes, I have this game, and you roll. I bought a whole bunch of fine motor activity. I just like went to Amazon and was like,
Love
fine
Amazon for all of this
motor.
stuff.
Yeah, because I love to incorporate OT, and I'm like, you know what, the kids like it, and I want to, because it's working on their attention too, and I'm also trying to. I've discovered that attention is super important for language.
Yeah.
and
if they're not
speech too.
attending to
Well,
it, then
and communication. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I need to work on a way of attention like more. So that was like my thought process. But I got this game, and you have to roll the dice, and you have to pick like bugs that are that color that are matched on the
Cute.
dice, and they have little like tweezers.
That's great.
So tweezers to
Yeah.
pick them up, and they really want to use the other hand. I'm like, nope, you know, I'm like
right.
tough with that.
Yeah.
But I'll help them when
No,
they need
yeah,
to.
that's great.
But
And you're doing
Does
part of our
cutting
OT
count? Because
yeah.
I love to cut with them.
Cutting, yeah.
Cut
Because
out our
one,
pictures and just
putting
like
in your
glue them
fingers-
on.
putting-
So easy. Like, let's just do this.
Yeah.
putting the fingers in the right way. That's the difficulty that
Yes,
they
thumb
have.
the little one, right?
Yes.
And you cue them by saying open, close, open, close.
Open, shut, open, shut.
Open, shut,
That's the
okay.
way we cut.
Wow, all
Oh, I
right.
say thumbs up. That's how we
Yeah.
cut.
Ah.
Because your thumb has to be out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it'll cut away from you.
Yeah.
Right. But when you actually work on cutting, a lot of kids have a hard time if they have a hard time with fine motor. And what they do, I don't know if you guys made this observation, they cut like this. So their
Like their shoulders are
hiked.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, their
That's
shoulders.
a compensating strategy.
Yes, because they don't have strength in their hand, so they're using
Or their core
or their
strength.
core, right? So they're
I
using
know you
their
wanted to talk about.
shoulder to stabilize their hand.
Right.
So a lot of times what we do is we put them on their belly when they have to cut because now they're leaning on their elbows
Mhm.
and everything is stabilized and now they just use their hand and their wrist.
Oh, that's good. That's
Yeah.
a great tip.
That's an excellent tip.
So if you ever want to do cutting with them and they have a hard time, put them on a scooter board or just on the mat, a
Oh,
yoga
yeah,
mat on
I
the
have
floor.
a yoga mat. Yeah.
And they're gonna like it because they're like, "Oh, I'm not sitting at the table; I'm rolling around."
Right.
Right.
So they're doing something
Mhm.
different.
Yeah.
When I make coloring pages, like this summer I did a whole ocean theme. I always had a page of like I drew the ocean critter, but then I did it with like dotted lines and then I had the kids trace it because I also felt like yes, it was good for attention, but also just for them to have the strength and stability and endurance in order to like maintain a solid line or to also be able to pick up from where they left off if they did take a break was like a good skill to be working on even in the speech therapy session because
Yeah.
eventually like we have to be able to work on writing so that they can answer written responses
questions
or
and-
even draw
yeah.
pictures in response to something. So I definitely like working on their hand manipulation as well
Perfect.
as speech.
And another one of the other favorite activities just came to mind,
Yeah.
which is hand manipulation, because you mentioned I
Mhm.
put little coins or little beads in their hands, and depending on their skill level, it could be from 2 to 5, and the size, depending on the size. And then from the palm, they have to use their fingers to roll it up to their finger.
Oh,
So,
so
like-
a little bean. I want to
Yeah, so it's
demonstrate
like-
that on myself. Okay.
Yeah, so it's like a little bead in here,
Uh huh.
like you're holding
I'll
a
take
couple
like
of
a pen-
coins.
I'll take a
yeah,
pen cap.
and now
Uh-huh.
you want to bring it up to the top of your fingers. So a lot of kids can't do that, but use your thumb too.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, there you
oh,
go.
I did it.
So yeah, it's called a translation skill from
Mhm.
palm to finger.
I did hurt this hand here. I went to the orthopedist and he was like, "Oh, you might need OT," and I was like, "Absolutely not!" And so I like went to your room, I think, and I was like, "Guys, help me
Yeah.
out!" And then you guys gave me some
Right.
stuff. But putty, right?
Yep.
Putty.
They can make little circles of putty,
Yeah.
little balls, which is working on the
I
hands too.
want to buy putty actually. I think
Yeah.
I'm gonna do
Amazon.
that this year.
And you can get all different strengths of putty,
Yeah,
right?
different
Yes.
colors. I can't remember what the resistances are, but yeah, there's like a blue, a green.
Mhm.
Black, I think, is the hardest. Blue's hard. I usually get like the pinkish or the green. I think we have green.
Okay.
And
All
then
right. Yeah.
And there's our halfway point.
Halfway point. I think it's the halfway point because I didn't actually start it at the
right,
exactly,
that's
but I
fine.
guesstimated. So
Yeah, no
now is a
worries.
good time to stop if this is part of your commute and you're already there. Listen to the rest of this half.
Right, but
of the
make sure you
episode
come
there.
back in because we're going to talk about other problems that can occur when an individual has difficulties with manipulation, and we're going to explain the different types of manipulations, and we're going to explain how to improve manipulation. So stay tuned, and
Yes.
we're going to talk about that. But now Maria's going to give you some
Yeah.
housekeeping.
Yes, I am. Thank you. Okay, so make sure you're following us on Instagram because we love hearing from you guys. We are getting a lot of questions and a lot of great feedback. So thank you for following us and listening to us. Also, don't forget to rate and review and subscribe to us on iTunes. That's a
Right,
big one.
yes.
And don't forget, we're on Spotify. If you're already listening to this, you would
Yes.
already know that, but just in case.
Yes, and we love
Yes.
to read those reviews. I have a
Yes.
listener question. Do we
Oh,
want to? Oh, we want to answer that at the
well,
end.
I know Katie wanted to go over something from the last episode that she was like, no, I messed it up. And she wanted to, go
Yeah,
over
but I
that.
think
The
I fixed
hypo
it.
and the hyper. But she
Yeah.
was like, cringing. And I was
Yeah.
like, it's okay. It's okay.
No, initially the episode started and we were talking about foods, and I didn't use hyper and hypo correctly, but later on in the episode I definitely defined it correctly.
Okay.
So when you're hyposensitive, that means that you're not getting enough sensory and you need a lot more than somebody that doesn't have sensory issues would. And an example would be if somebody brushed against you, you don't feel it. In order for you to feel it, you would have to get like pinched or like a deep pressure. And the hypersensitivity could be something as minimal as the light. We're sitting in this room and we don't see any light flickering, but somebody who's hypersensitive to the light will see it and they'll be upset. And a student will like freak out and start crying and want to run out of the room. So those are the two differences.
Yeah, okay, sounds good. And then also, I forgot that I wanted to mention, so going back, so yes, follow us on Instagram. We are SLP's Wine and Cheese Pods, underscore between each word. I'm Deborah Brooks, CCC SLP on Instagram, and I post videos of myself doing speech therapy and also like the materials that I make. And Maria is
Maria _ Kutsonis SLP, but I always tag us in like everything, so
just tap any picture and you'll
just
find
tap.
everyone's name.
Yes. I did goat yoga yesterday, guys. Fun note.
That's
awesome.
Yes, I don't know why I randomly just said that, but I guess I was thinking how I tagged myself
On Instagram.
on Instagram, and then when I have my personal page, I can easily just like share it, so I don't have to like post the same thing twice. So I was like, why didn't I ever think of this before? So that's why I just brought that up randomly.
So
But
do
yeah,
you like
goat yoga was a lot of fun. I actually didn't really want to do it because I was like, oh, it's so early in the morning. It was like 45 minutes away, someplace in Jersey, Red Bank. And nothing against that part of Jersey. It was like at 9 a.m. on a Saturday.
Right, yeah.
But I forced myself to go. My best friend really wanted to go, so I was like, I can do it. I'll suck it up. And it was so much fun.
I'm glad you
No
went.
goat peed on me or pooped on me or bit me. So 3 things I was
That's
worried
good.
about
Yeah,
that
goats
didn't
don't
happen.
typically bite.
Yeah, I don't know
They might
why. I
spit at
thought,
you, but-
I was scared of that.
Yeah.
You know, just weird fears for no reason. Just me being me.
Okay. All right. Well, you do know worry is the misuse of imagination.
You know, I said that to someone yesterday, and I was like, this is why people hate me. No, I'm just kidding. Because we're like sitting at dinner, I'm drinking wine, of course, and then she was like, I'm just so worried. And I was like, worry is the misuse of imagination. And then she was just like, looked at me and was like,
She's like, what?
I know.
Good. I would be like, did you need me to repeat that?
No, I
You know what?
Because,
I
like,
like to
you
process
did it-
that. Like in my head, I'm like saying it over
I
and
bet
over.
she's
I'm
like
I
still
had to-
thinking about that. I'm gonna get a text in a week, like Maria, I thought about
And
you
it was
and what you
great.
said,
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna be like, you need to listen to
But
the podcast more.
sometimes something is said, I'm like, hold on, I need a minute. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, that was
Yes.
a good
Let
one.
it
Yeah.
register.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We're also going to be at ASHA table 872. Please come see us. We're
They're gonna
have-
come see us.
I'm going to
Yes.
say it every single opportunity I get until it happens. Please
Okay.
come to 872. I think we're right by the ASHA store, so like I'll
Oh, okay.
be like yelling like mom watching you in a recital, like hello, here. Say hi to me.
And what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna just like smile
And they're like,
just-
this is my crazy friend.
That's gonna be like I'm gonna be like Beetlejuice in that display, like just trying to get everyone's attention.
What should I be doing? I don't know. I haven't thought of it. I'm just
Well-
gonna go there and be fun, and then people are gonna be attracted to the funness.
Right,
You
yeah.
know?
The funner your table is, the more
I'm gonna
people
do
you get.
so much work to make sure people come. Maria's gonna be like, look at all this stuff I manifested. And I'm gonna be like, yeah, you sure did.
I do that.
Okay, you can also email us at slps1andcheese@gmail.com and look for our Patreon. We didn't do it yet. We're going to.
we got it
The
rolling.
Patreon is in the works, but we're going to have bonus episodes on the Patreon.
Yes.
As you guys know, it costs money to do all this stuff, and so far we've been doing everything just out of pocket, and Patreon is a great platform that allows creators to receive funding for the work that they create. So if you support us, we will not let you be sorry for that.
No.
Our goal is to have 100 people donate $2. That's our first goal. So if you can be
Yes.
one of those 100 people, we will be very grateful, and we will do our best to make you feel satisfied by that. Just in popular fashion, as Mike is not here, but
Mike
he
is
did
calling
call.
you. So Mike, you're
We're
on our
recording.
podcast.
You're on the podcast.
Mike, you just come on up everywhere.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Maria, how was goat yoga?
We were just talking about that. It was awesome. So I was just saying how I was like nervous that they were gonna bite me or poop on me and pee on me, and they didn't. Because everyone I told I was going to goat yoga was like, why? You know they poop on you. So negative. And I'm like, I'm just going to have a good time. My best friend loves goats. I
Yeah,
want to
let me
support
live.
her and her goat love, you know? And it was great. I felt very relaxed, yet happy and fun. That's like, what's better than that?
Exactly, all the good feelings.
Yep.
What are you doing, Michael?
I'm just driving on 87, but I just want to say, don't bring home a pizza from Staten Island.
Oh my
that was
gosh.
the plan.
She
I
wanted
was
to bring
going
you
to bring-
pizza. Yeah, she wants to bring you some pizza. I don't know why I'm speaking for you,
Yeah,
Deb.
but
I'm sorry.
what is the
Healthy,
reason?
so
You're healthy today? Today you started?
Sunday is cheat day. Monday is when you start.
Okay, I'll eat pizza before I come home.
yes, I don't want pizza, and I mean that.
Just to our listeners,
sure?
Staten Island has some really great pizza. So
Staten Island has the best
Stat-
pizza.
Oh, okay. I didn't
bagels.
I didn't want to overdo it there
No,
with the
I will.
Staten Island chant.
I will. If you want to challenge me, I will accept that challenge. I will go on a pizza challenge with you. You will be wrong, and I will win.
Okay.
But the second pizza, I think, is Totono's in Coney Island. What do you think, Michael?
L&B's.
What?
L&B.
What do you think the
Alright.
second best pizza outside of Staten Island is?
So, I don't know about anyone else, but I feel like it's really hard to mess up pizza.
Totono's. Yes, see, I said that.
Totono's.
No, it's not that hard to mess up pizza. There's a
No.
lot of bad pizza out there.
But Bagatelle, actually, yesterday I was not impressed with that pizza. That was like DiGiorno pizza with some of their garlic
chocolate
chips on
cheese
it.
I hate DiGiorno. Their
I know.
commercials are so cocky.
I
They're
know.
like, it's not delivery, it's DiGiorno. I'm like, no one is going to be grateful that you gave them DiGiorno.
Right?
Yeah, like-
I would be offended.
Exactly.
Imagine.
That's almost as bad as
Kid
fake.
was a single mother.
Not even a kid with a single mother.
I know, that poor child. I'm just kidding.
Single moms are the best. They're
course.
cool.
They're badasses.
But I feel like it's worse than a fake imitation Girl Scout cookie.
Oh my god. No, I mean, come on, that wasn't that bad. Katie did bring in some very interesting snacks. I don't know, from
But
Costco.
there's still cookies under there.
There's
Yeah.
still cookies. We still have Girl Scout cookies, guys.
All right, Michael, we're gonna
Yes,
get back to
we
this
gotta get back
podcast.
to
I'll
recording.
See you when, are you gonna
So, yes, guys, Girl Scout
be?
cookies
Okay,
are
are you
great.
sure you
I
don't
know.
want me to bring a pizza home?
Okay.
I'm not winking.
I'm not winking. Just bring him some pizza.
Okay, I love you.
Get
Bye.
this man some pizza.
You don't love me?
Aw.
You don't love me?
Oh God, are you one of those?
No.
dickhead? Okay.
Well, yes. Any opportunity I get to be a pain, I capitalize.
Oh right, I get
Yes,
it.
it's what is good for the relationship. I want to establish, like, you know, you teach people how to treat you, so I want to be like, it's in everyone's best interest to treat me nice.
Of course. Yes.
Yes.
Because then she'll drink some whiskey.
I
Who
know.
knows what's gonna
Oh
happen?
my gosh,
Or maybe
yes.
that's why she was so mean.
Yeah, that's why.
Why?
Whiskey is kicking in.
Oh wow! I didn't think you were that mean though. I was like, that's just Deb. That's just. I think because
am
we're
not really that
cancers. I'm
nice.
like the same way.
Right.
Cancer. Like I will be your best friend, but if you rub me the wrong way, you will be sorry.
Yeah. It's
You-
not in anyone's best interest to
Uh, yeah,
interfere
that's
with
the
me.
Cancer speaking.
I think
Our horoscope sign.
Yeah.
What's your horoscope sign
I'm a
again?
Taurus.
A Taurus.
Very stubborn.
Why are you guys so stubborn?
So
Why?
stubborn.
I don't get
know.
it. I don't get it. Is it because you believe in something and you like think?
Yeah, but
It's
I was
the-
watching Brain Games. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that
Yeah,
show.
I like that show.
No.
I make the kids watch it if we were gonna have a Netflix day.
Mhm.
It's
Ah.
like it's all about your brain, so
Yeah.
it could be like optical illusions or anything.
Wow.
But there
that's
was
awesome. I
one
wanna
that
watch this.
said something like about like being stubborn. Not that being stubborn, but like if you already answered something, you're gonna stick to it because your mind doesn't want you to like. Your mind answers right away because it doesn't want you to be wrong. So like being stubborn is kind of like your brain preventing you from being wrong.
So it's like
Like
a defensive
yeah,
mechanism.
yeah. Mhm.
No, it's so funny. There are a lot of those, like psychologically
Right.
speaking. But
So
now
I
this
thought
is
that was
like,
interesting. I'm like, I wonder if that's what I do. So I try not to be stubborn. So now I try to like listen.
because you
like, if
have
somebody-
that
You try to
The
be
training
cognitively
metacognition,
flexible.
right?
Yeah,
now.
like so if somebody's like, no, that's not right, then I should use what you did when the kids say no, or you saying instead of
tell
saying
me
no,
more.
yeah, you're like, yeah, tell me more. Why?
Yeah, tell me more
Why
about
am I wrong?
Why you don't agree with me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't use the words "I'm wrong."
Never.
No, I would.
No, you can be like, sorry, I was wrong, hun.
Oh, that's
I
a hard
didn't.
sentence.
Even though
didn't-
everybody's entitled
oh.
to their opinion, so it could be
Yeah.
not that I'm wrong, but that's your opinion. That's what you believe in. So
Right. So maybe you're also strong with your opinions too.
maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe you also are just like, you know, you don't run your mouth unless you're sure that
Right.
like you have confidence in what you said.
Or if I'm not, then I'll back down. Like,
Right.
if I'll tell you, like, oh, with speech, I think you guys only work in stuttering. And you can be like, no, we don't. I'll be like, I don't know more about that. Okay.
Right.
Right. But for OT,
Yeah. Yeah.
right, you know your stuff.
Right.
Right,
Yes.
yeah. So
Going back.
Let's go back to we'll go back to our topic of OT. So here I have there's different types of manipulation. So I have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 types of manipulation. I'm going to read this list of 7 and then I'll go back to the beginning and then I'll ask you to elaborate on each point. And then also like I'll chime in because it's nothing that's crazy, I promise.
Are we doing a see do right here?
Oh
or
yeah,
we just
we're gonna
want to do.
Well,
what's-
first we'll talk about this, and then at the end we'll do see, do, right.
Okay.
So the different types of manipulations we have: hand and finger strength, hand-eye coordination, hand dominance, hand divisions of the thumb and the index finger, bilateral integration, postural control, and body awareness, such as proprioception. So going back to the top, hands and finger strength. Can you just elaborate on that manipulation
Yeah.
skill?
So you definitely need the hand and finger strength in order to be able to hold the pencil. And a lot of times what you'll see is the kids refuse to write something, not because they can't, but because they get so fatigued and they don't understand that that's what it is. So they just say, oh, I don't want to write anymore. I can't do this. I'm tired. This is boring. But it's really because they're weak in their hands.
Ah, okay.
Oh,
So like they
yes.
don't have the stamina because they okay.
You know what I've noticed when a kid usually doesn't want to do something, it's because it's hard for them.
Yes.
And I like to tell parents that and stuff, and like that's when they start to like to come to speech, and that's when you could tell that they like coming to therapy, and like you're challenging them enough, but it's not too hard for them. Once they start like having a hard time, you're like, yeah, my demands. I mean, of course, there's like 100 other things that they could
No,
be,
right.
behavior, attention,
Right.
but like it also is a good chance, an opportunity for you to be like, maybe it is too hard for them.
And one of the things that I learned is
Like,
that
what can you
definitely-
modify?
That, but you definitely need to build that trust with the students.
Yes.
If they know they
right.
could trust you, they will probably try to do their best for you.
Yeah.
If they feel like this is really hard, I'm not going to tell you can't do it, but you'll be able to read me and you let me have that break, or you'll guide me for me to be successful. So
Yeah.
if they trust you not to embarrass them or, you know, to make them not succeed, then you have such a better session.
Yeah,
That's
I
true.
come in and rescue everyone. I don't want anyone stressing out about anything. So whenever we're reading it, I'm like, listen, if you don't know that word, I'm going to tell you what it is right away. So you're not going to have to sit there and
Aw,
panic and be
sure.
worried. Like, I'm right here. I know what we're reading, and I'm going to tell you what that is. And then we'll just do it again and again and again until you remember what that word is.
Right.
So that's why we do poems, because we just read the same thing over and over again for 2 months straight. So eventually, like, they do know the words like communication or communion is one word in our poem that everyone keeps getting messed up, and though everyone keeps messing up, they keep reading it as through.
Oh,
Mm.
wow.
That
they're
is a
predicting.
confusing one.
Yeah,
they're
predicting it.
assuming, yeah. So I keep being like, even though you want to say through, the word is though.
Right.
Yeah.
Deb loves poems. Fun
I
fact.
love
That's
poems,
cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Darren had his open mic on Friday.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
We had
yes.
a poet come, and I think it was her first time, and she read it. It was really sweet.
Oh,
Aw,
that's
Yeah,
nice.
nice.
It's nice sometimes, like when you don't listen to poems, and then somebody
Yes,
comes
I know.
and
Deb has got me into poems. I'm like, oh, I
so
like
you should
them.
write a poem and read it next
Oh,
time.
wow. Okay. Yes, maybe.
I was just remembering that I met your brother because you came to my first comedy show.
Told you. You didn't believe me.
I forgot.
You didn't- This one's like, you never came and saw me do stand up. I'm like, yes, I have. I've
Yes,
seen you.
she did come.
Yes.
All right, so
Oh,
I was
man.
wrong.
It's okay.
Did she yell at you?
She didn't.
No, I didn't remember.
She yell at you. No, she's nicer to me than she is Mike. I mean,
Okay.
I'm so
I'm
nice.
telling you were in there.
I just didn't remember. Now I remember. I remember. That's true. She did come.
right.
So then the next one is hand-eye coordination,
Okay. So
which is a manipulation skill.
yeah, so I wonder why, but it is. So eye-hand coordination is being able to see something and then process it, and the output is through your hands.
Mhm.
So a lot of times that skill is copying from the board, copying from the book. So
Mm.
anything that vision to hand. So like a lot
Uh-huh.
of games, like your brother mentioned, a lot of games that they play perfection. He has to be able to scan the board, but yet his hand has to put it where he sees it.
Right.
Mhm. And does that count as like swiping on an iPad and stuff?
Yeah, because like if you have a bunch of apps, finding the app that you want and
There's fine motor apps, right?
Right.
If you just, what's one of your favorite fine motor apps?
I like Connect the Dots.
Connect the dots.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have worksheets for it, but on the iPad, the kids love iPads. So if you tell
Yeah.
them you have to do work on it, they don't really.
Well, just say if there's an
Yeah,
SLP out there and she knows like this student needs fine motor and he maybe already gets OT and his reward is iPad time,
Right.
why not do Connect the Dots
Yeah.
with them?
Connect
Why
the
not?
Dots. There's always like building, pattern building apps. I'm not sure what they are. I try not to use the iPad because I know the kids use the iPad a lot when they go home.
Mhm.
But I do know
Right.
some kids that's the only motivator.
Mhm.
So yeah, color by the numbers. They also have like apps.
Where
So
you
anything-
like the tap, like the little.
and the colors in by itself. Yep. But
Yeah.
you have to look over and see what the number
Oh,
is
that's
with
so
the color.
sad because I remember color by numbers. I'm like,
loved
it's
it.
fun to like
Yeah.
actually
I draw
color.
by numbers.
Yes.
I draw them and use them in speech. And I
Right.
start with numbers and then I start with letters and then I'm like, color all the words that have H in the beginning. So
Mhm.
I just progress numbers, letters, and then
That's perfect.
like CVC words.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But then also when it comes to the iPad games for hand-eye coordination and like any sort of OT stuff, I like to do like there is one educational app that I have. I don't know the name of it, but it is just essentially you trace the letters 3 times and it becomes progressively more challenging because the guidelines are removed further down. So that's a good one. It's like a bunch of aliens. You have to hit every alien, and if you hit them all, they go home.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good one. But then the other ones that I really like to do are Panda Pap. Because what's good about that is because you have to like predict where the ball is going to go based on the angle, and you have to hold down
That's a
instead of
great
like
one.
letting go.
Almost
if you let
like
go.
Pong.
Right. Yeah. But
Pong
if
was
you
the
let
original.
Go, but if you let
Yeah.
go, then the ball goes, and
Right.
you don't get to like put it precisely.
Okay.
So Panda Pop is good for that, and then also Cooking Fever is good because that's like you're making hamburgers and hot dogs, and then the people come and they order with like a thought bubble, like a picture, like the
Oh,
picture of
that
a burger will
sounds good.
appear,
That's cool.
and they have to like make that burger based on the ingredients, and that gets increasingly challenging. Like
Right.
maybe they want tomatoes
So
or
like
lettuce.
memory too, right?
Yeah, and
Attention,
matching,
right.
and it's also like rapid movement, and each round is like 2 minutes or 4 minutes, so it's like something easy to go back and forth to.
I feel like
it's useful
I
and
need that app
motivating.
for myself.
It's so addicting.
What is
Mike
that
and I,
called?
Cooking
Yes.
Fever. We got on
Cooking Fever.
Like
I'm gonna
we
have
both
Cooking
had it deleted
Fever.
off our phones. He kept just ordering more jewels,
Oh,
and I'm like, you have to stop.
That's
addicting.
bad.
Yeah,
But then
bad.
the last iPad game
I'm like, that's bad.
is
Okay.
no. Well, I mean, if you just keep playing it for free for
No,
a
I'm
while,
kidding.
you're good. The last one is Lego Juniors, which I like to use with the little kids, and it's like an easy game because it's like doesn't require that many skills, but it's still motivating and like fun, and they do have to do some stuff. But basically, the whole game, after you choose your person and you build your car, you're just holding down the arrow button so that the car can keep going, and it's good biofeedback because whenever they lift their finger, the car stops.
Oh,
So they have to like remain down and like maintain that strength against the board in order to get to the finish line.
That's awesome.
So I like those 3 games.
Awesome.
Wow.
The
Okay.
next manipulation, unless we have anything else for hand-eye coordination.
Okay.
Nope. The next one is hand dominance.
Okay. So hand dominance, a lot of times, students that come to us, especially elementary school,
Mhm.
they don't develop it right away. So they're
Mm.
switching hands.
Yes.
Right.
One of the things that it could possibly be is weakness. So they get weak in their hand, in the right hand, let's say, and they're tired, but they know that they want to try, they want to keep up with their peers, so they end up switching. And you notice that a lot.
I've seen that a lot.
Yeah.
Another thing that it could be is students can't cross midline.
Right.
So
Yes,
they,
that one.
instead of like writing from left to right, they'll write with their left hand and then they'll pass the pencil to the right and then they'll continue.
Okay.
Is that indicative of a weak trunk control?
Not that.
Oh,
that's
that's
more
nice.
neurological.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like it could also be like reflexes weren't integrated when they were younger and it's something to work on. So, but it affects their
PT
handwriting.
works on that too. Sorry,
Yes.
I'm gonna like
Yeah.
you know,
No.
nothing against PTs. I'm just saying.
No, it's great
But,
because
yeah.
if, let's say, speech or OT or PT just had to work with a student all by themselves, there's so many things. So I'm so
Right.
happy like that
Yes.
you guys do one thing, we do something else, and the PTs could help us as well, like with the speech, like what do you want to do? They verbally say it, but then they're working on crossing midline or strengthening their core,
Yeah.
which I think we're going to get into it. So
Yes.
it's awesome how we can work as a team.
Yeah.
Of course.
I had a preschooler that kept switching hands, and I could tell it was due to like fatigue and that he didn't have the stamina. But I have a second grader who switches hands, but I think he does it in terms because he is very artistic. That he likes to like, he
both.
likes to use both,
Right.
and I think he's like kind of developing like ambidextrous. How do you say it?
ambidextrous.
How do you do it with
He's
activity?
developing ambidextrosity.
Yeah,
Nope.
that's it.
That's
Yeah.
like nope.
Something.
not
That's
it.
the word I want.
ambidextrosity.
Yeah. So
He's-
I think that's what
Katie,
he's.
Katie.
Well,
Come on, Katie.
we
You're
know
the
what
OT.
we're trying to say.
Katie's like, stop.
No, but that's good.
right.
I
think
wouldn't
that's it.
stop the student.
No,
then.
I'm not stopping him. I'm like, cause he'll have like a little this color, a little this color, and he's like on. If he was like only on one side of the paper with each hand, I'd be like, this is weird. But he really is like, he's just like a little here, a little that, and it's
Yeah.
just like it's like cooking. It looks like so.
Right.
I
Then
let
it's
him do
him.
it.
That's
He's
what the
got
student
cooking
is.
fever. No, I'm
Yeah,
just
he
kidding.
does have cookie fever. Okay, so then the next one is hand division, which this is similar to how we want to isolate the tongue from the jaw. Like we want to make sure like different parts of the body can move
Independently.
without, like independently without like the whole head moving every time the tongue moves. So
Right, or the
tell
whole
us a little
jaw.
bit about hand division.
So it's probably like finger isolation.
Yeah, like this says thumb, index finger.
Right. So there's an exercise we do. It's called thumb opposition. So it's bringing your thumb to each of your fingers. So first you start with the index, then the middle, then the.
That's a guitar exercise too.
Oh, cool.
That's
So,
what
yeah.
I felt. That's what the PA told me
Yeah.
to do. He's like, I'll give you
Yeah.
one exercise. This
So there
is
works
one.
on finger division. So finger isolation, you're isolating each muscle individually.
Mhm.
This comes good for pointing.
Mm-hmm.
If you have to point at something, you need to be able to curl all your fingers under and point.
Right.
And pincer grasp. So now
Right.
if I have the students turning the key, they need this pincer grasp.
Right. And you usually are able to see that around the time that children are first starting to eat solid foods because they're picking up those little cereals.
Yes.
So that's like a good indicator if they're using their entire palm
Right.
to pick that up, and then they're using their palm to shove it in their mouth. Then maybe that's like an
Oh.
indicator that we need to work on developing that
Pincer
hand
Pincer
division.
grasp, yeah.
pincer grasp.
A trick that I've learned for that, I think on Instagram, is giving the child like a tissue to squeeze underneath their middle ring and pinky finger, and they squeeze the tissue there, and then they hold the pencil, which is going to force them to curl their fingers under while they pincer grasp the pencil.
Yep. And they do that for writing. Only the first two, the pinky and the index, they hold a little bead and then they get a tripod grasp.
Ah, okay.
So very similar.
Yeah. Well, maybe it wasn't the middle finger then. Maybe it was.
It
just
could be
these two.
if you need them to do the pincer. It
Oh,
could be,
right.
because then
Okay.
it goes under.
Right. Okay. So then the next one is bilateral integration. So bilateral two-side integration coming together, and that's like switching from hand to hand.
No, so bilateral integration we work on a lot when it comes to writing, and the other hand has to hold the paper. A lot of
okay.
kids,
Yes.
a lot of
But
kids
this
don't do
wouldn't be
that.
bilateral integration.
You're not using two hands at the same time.
Oh, okay. So it's the
It's
same time.
like catching
okay.
the ball with both hands at the same time.
Oh, okay.
I do that with them. I know you or maybe my other OT friend who wants to be a guest on our show. Look out for that one.
Uh-huh.
We've got plenty of OTs want to join us.
Now they're fighting for a spot.
They're
Because
like,
the
what?
OTs never get to speak. SOPs are always chatting away.
OT's like, we have so
need a
much to
platform.
say. Yes, they do. So
You
yes,
incorporate it?
she told me about that, or I've noticed that, and so that's the way when a kid is cutting,
Yes.
I make them say, use your helper hand,
Yep.
right?
Very good.
And then I make them hold the paper and then they cut, but then also when they're writing, they need the helper hands, and I say, helper hand down.
Oh, look at you.
That's right.
It's like a what is it, like superheroes? Oh, like Power Rangers? I don't know. It sounds.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
like rings together,
Yeah.
Oh
unite,
wow, I didn't
something
even
like
think.
that. Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought it was.
I don't know. You said it so
I
powerful.
said it because
Yeah.
it's a very direct phrase of what I
Yeah.
want them to do.
Yeah, I think that children really they thrive off when instruction is provided in short, explicit utterances.
Yep.
So helper hand down.
Yep.
Not it's important that you have your hand there
too
to
much.
hold the paper. Too.
No.
Put that hand down.
Yeah, more
Yes.
than 2 words, quick, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
agreed. And so when they struggle, what we do is I have them write on the wall, and they have to hold, because if that hand's not helping, the paper's just gonna slide off.
Right. Yes. True.
Cool.
Good.
Nice one.
And everyone likes, just like we talked about in the last
Yes.
episode, like writing on something you're not supposed to is always a good
Oh
time.
yeah.
So then the next one is postural control. So then we have the core support there.
Yes. So if you don't have the core support, everything else crumbles.
This
That's
is
right.
such a big one.
Such a big one, especially.
so big. I'm such a stickler for
And this is where we
posture.
need our PTs. I mean, OTs definitely work on it too, because if somebody can't write, you start from the core.
Right.
Then the shoulders and everything else strengthens. If you don't have the core, you have a hard time with everything: sitting, paying attention, writing, anything, because you just can't support yourself. So a lot of times
Yeah.
kids put their head down, and you think they're bored, they're being rude, but they're tired. They don't have that
Right.
muscle strength to keep
Right.
themselves up. So how do you expect them to write and copy or even produce language if they can't keep themselves up?
Right.
So very important.
Right, so they need that strength in order to enhance their coordination and stability. And even for speech, they need to have that core strength so that they could build up enough air in order to sustain long
Yes.
utterances. So if your whole core is crumbling down, then you're not able to express yourself adequately. So maybe you don't actually have a language deficit. Maybe you have like a muscle issue here.
Or the muscle issue is not helping. Like if you have
Right.
both, because a lot of times like we see children with they have language deficits and core, because
Right.
let's say
Yeah.
they have comorbidities and stuff, or they're on the spectrum. So it's like they have poor language, and then that core support
And-
is not helping them. It's not,
Right.
it's, so.
So it's going to be
Yeah.
so hard to get language out if you're not working on that other
Right.
part of it.
And
Yeah.
if you so maybe that's something that you see more frequently in a more severe population.
Yes.
But then, like how I know that it is significant is that I have had students who are not as severe. So like you can see what they are capable of cognitively, and then you see a breakdown. You're like, what's going on? You will you have all these skills. So why aren't we why is our MLU not appropriate? And it's because they're just like, oh, I can't.
You
Yeah.
always have to go back down to the core, not even like the core muscles,
It is
but
the
like
core, yeah.
right, but
core
like,
issue.
Yeah, the core issue. It can't be like I was saying earlier. Oh, he can't write, so we're gonna sit here and write for 30 minutes. No, it's like what is causing that? Like
Right,
let's
yeah.
dig and go beyond that.
That's
Yeah.
a good assessment then. You
Right.
have to- and that's like something we've talked about before, and I'm sure with OT, you have to continuously assess them, you know?
Yes.
So like, all right, he or she has met these goals, but this is still a problem. So like, what is it? Like what's causing
Or
this?
they're
Like
not
we
meeting
need to
these
assess
goals.
this.
Or they're not
Right,
meeting
they're
these
not-
goals.
yeah.
Why? Like what am I missing? Let's
Right.
go down more.
Yes.
Like,
Right.
more.
Let me assess.
Yeah. And then the last one is body awareness proprioception, which
Right.
we did touch upon in the last episode, but you can still elaborate there.
Yes.
So I mentioned last time, proprioception is knowing where your body is in space. So if the student and the child can't really feel what's going on in their hands, they won't be able to feel the pen in their hand. They won't be able to grade the pressure. Some students write too light. Some students write too hard, and they break pencils. So they need to know where their body is in space. So what we do for that is we do joint compressions or heavy work. Can you do push-ups on the wall? Can you move this chair for me? Can you carry the heavy book to the classroom? To give them some kind of deep pressure to make them feel those joints, muscles, and tendons of the part that you're going to use.
It's giving sensory to those like hyposensitive areas.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
So if they're writing too hard, is that like hypo?
They can't feel it. So
They
yes,
have
they're
to
pushing.
breathe-
They're hypo, right? They're pushing so hard.
That drives
and that
me
gives
so
them
crazy
feedback.
with coloring. I'm like, what, you guys? It's gonna take us like 10 years if we're coloring everything this dark. You need to stop. I'm like, this is how we color, and I'm like this, nice and light and big strokes. So I'm always teaching everyone just in terms of efficiency.
Right.
We gotta move on.
So a little
Right.
trick that I do, I bought sandpaper in Home Depot. I put it on there. It gives them feedback.
Oh, okay.
Or mechanical pencils.
Oh, so we'll see. Okay, great. Oh, because they'll break.
They'll break.